Hello and welcome. This is me, Miriam Mason-Martineau, on behalf of Next Step Integral, and I'm so glad to be sitting here this morning as the snow falls very early for our part of the world, with a cup of tea and my dearest friend, Brooke McNamara, and colleague and part of our Next Step Integral faculty.
Hi, everybody.
And today we will just really introduce you a little bit to the upcoming course that she's offering, which is called Right to the Heart of Motherhood. And it goes from November 2nd to December 11th. So it's coming up really soon. It's the third time we're offering it. I've taken part every single time. I absolutely love it. And maybe I'll start by just introducing Brooke a little bit, and then we can get into talking about the course. Awesome. So Brooke McNamara is a poet. She's a dance theatre artist and a teacher, and also an ordained Zen monk. She's published 2 books of poems. One is called Bury the Seed and was published in 2020. And the other is called Feed Your Vow, and that was published in 2015. For her poetry, she's the recipient of the Charles B. Palmer Prize from the Academy of American Poets. Brooke has taught at Naropa University in yoga studies, and also at the University of Colorado Boulder in dance. She's the co-director with her friend and colleague Lauren Beale of Eunice Embodiment, an organization that offers cutting-edge performances, embodiment education, and creative practice workshops and retreats. Brooke is the creator and instructor of the online courses Right to the Heart of Motherhood, which is with us at Next Step Integral, Summoning the Unseen, Cultivate Creative Practice with Lauren Beale, and Women's Ritual of Renewal with Lisa Gibson. She's a longtime Zen student of Diane Musho Hamilton, Roshi, and empowered as a senior monk. Brooke lives with her husband Rob and their 2 wild, adorable sons, London and Orion. Welcome, Brooke.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
What a beautiful package of life and exploration and learning and teaching I just read there. So let's dive into this offering of yours, Right to the Heart of Motherhood, where you're bringing both your mama self and your writer self and your teaching self, and so many of these streams that were in your bio there. You're bringing those into this absolutely wonderful bouquet to offer to other mothers, grandmothers, aunties, really anyone who is connecting with little and bigger ones. So maybe we could just start with you describing, just like that, off the top of your head, what made you put this offering together, what you hope mothers can get from it.
Yeah, I'll start by saying I'm so excited to dive in for a third time. We haven't done it for a while. This is maybe we're coming close to a year. Is that right? And I just find myself genuinely, sort of the feeling of fall and winter, where there's a sense like the good feeling of being drawn in and down. I feel a similar thing with this course. And it draws me in and down to, like you said, where these various centers of my activity come together like a Venn diagram, deep, deep, deep inside my soul. So, I was talking about purpose on a different interview a few weeks ago, and I was talking about how for me, purpose has always been a multiplicity. There's like a few things you could probably hear in my bio that have always been core in my being, that I could feel even when I was little so clearly, that I needed to write in order to feel like I could understand the world and make sense of the world. I needed to write for some reason. And I know so many people are built that way also, that writing is just a way of metabolizing and finding a deeper voice that feels very connective to source, or something deeper than the ordinary daily life which is also beautiful, but like if we're stuck there, we can maybe sometimes feel a little uprooted. So writing just roots me down, and always has. And movement, same thing, dance. And then I've also always felt like so deeply longing to be a mom. And so now it's been 7 years, and I still, even on the most challenging, tired days, I can still feel that like original impulse of wanting to tend to young ones and wanting to love in this like radically heartbreaking, heart opening way, where I just really tend and devote day in and day out. I've always wanted that. And I'm in the thick of it with a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And this course came out of, I think it was like after just my first son was born, and I had this profound realization where my writing started to flow way more than before I was a mom. I mean, I always wrote. There was seasons, of course, and cycles where it would flow a lot, and then I would kind of lay fallow, so to speak, and then it would flow a lot, and then I'd feel like cut off from it or whatever. But I imagined that mothering would be so full on that I wouldn't be able to access my writing voice or find time to access it. But it made sure that I did. It was one of the most surprising things about early motherhood, is that when I would get quiet, poetry would just bubble up spontaneously. And of course, not all the time. It's not always easy or romantic, but sometimes it really was. And so I realized, wow, I never knew that my artist self and my mother self sat right next to each other, and they even overlapped. And I found so much energy and meaning and aliveness in those early days of making the time to write. Like I started getting up really early in the morning. And not only do I now have these artifacts of like poems from that time that are so tender to read and so precious as my boys are quickly growing, but also like the process of writing those things really helped me remake myself day after day, and be like metabolizing how meaningful and hard everything was as I went, instead of it building up and me feeling like I was functioning on top of all these stories and on top of all of this beauty and meaning. Is like I could actually digest it as I was going, and then I found I could share those things that I was writing and really find connection with other mamas or with my mom or even the public. Like I started to share them publicly, and people, I think, were very touched to see what goes on behind closed doors of mothering, or in the wee hours when no one's watching, whether I was sharing the beauty or the struggle or both. I think moms were touched, like, oh, I'm not alone. I know what you're talking about. And then non-moms were like, wow, I didn't know it was like that. And so I found relief in being seen. And I also felt like it was a certain thread of activism, of finding a little bit more appreciation, or at least witnessing for the kind of work that we're doing that isn't paid in traditional, isn't compensated in traditional ways. So I came to you and I said, I really want to gather mamas, because I also feel like community is so essential for our well-being. And I want to offer these tools that I've discovered and then see if any of them land or strike like a match with other mamas. And then we found in the first run of the course that, gosh, it was so beautiful the way that people responded, even if they couldn't fully participate because the demands of mothering were so intense. However, people showed up. It was so gorgeous and really nourished everyone. So then we did it again. And now we're in this whole new world of COVID. And so I feel like this course is even more important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. You've shared so many threads of why I think this course is important, why I think it's deeply timely and meaningful. Now I'll pick up on a few of those. I share with you the sense that, in mothering, we do some of the finest work we ever do.
Mhm.
And a lot of that is unseen, as in it happens, in the middle of the night, or it happens under the dining room table with Lego blocks. Or it happens taking a walk very, very slowly down a sidewalk and stopping to look at, you know,
Mhm.
a little worm. So a lot of it is quiet, is slowed down, and and is tucked away. And yet, to me, there's something about the gems there
Mhm.
that are actually, they're central to humanity. Like, they're central to what it means to be a human on earth, to be raising another human.
Mhm.
So they can seem sort of off in their own little space, but really I actually think what gets noticed and then maybe excavated and expressed through something like Write to the Heart of Motherhood, where we write from that place, where we actually go, it's worth talking about.
Mhm.
It speaks both, like you said, there's that relief of being able to bring it out, and then there's the connection among so many mothers. But I feel like it even goes beyond that, because I mean, isn't it incredible? Every single human being on earth came from a mother.
Mhm. Yeah.
Everyone, right? Whether the mother was then around or not, or however the journey unfolded, but
Mhm.
originally we all came from a mother. So in a way, it's such a universal offering. And I feel like there is so much insight, intelligence, tenderness,
Mhm.
difficulty, challenge, new discoveries, old ones, ancient ones, but that get brought to light as I read these, sometimes just a line or a full poem or an essay. I mean, what the mothers then in the prior courses have offered has been so exquisite in so
Yeah.
many ways, sometimes very raw, sometimes more polished, and all of it um,
Mhm.
feels deeply relevant and worth speaking, like worth speaking to self, to other mamas, but also
Mhm.
to the world. So I like the activist part there too, that
Yeah.
you mentioned. I was like, yeah, these voices are often missing, and let's bring them out into the open, because they are tapping into wisdoms and just life insights that I think, yeah, actually are very important for all of us.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking what could be lovely, because I think most people who are interested can just find the information on the website, which is theheartofmotherhood.com, and
Mhm.
we can add that link below this video. But I thought what could be nice this time round is if you gave us a little taste of what happens maybe in a live session, because there's recorded sessions and live sessions in the course. Give
Mhm.
us a little taste. For anyone
Mhm.
listening, you can join us, and then yeah, we'll give a bit of an experience, and
Yeah.
hopefully even encourage someone in this very moment to do a little bit of that,
Yeah.
writing right to the heart of their motherhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Um, so I'll just clarify really briefly the structure of the class is that on Monday mornings, you get pre-recorded materials, both written and audio, um, about 20 minutes to listen to, teaching on the themes of the week. And you also get poems that might be inspiring to read, or maybe you want to learn one by heart, or you might just enjoy them. There's quotes delivered to an online group. You get to be part of an online group where you share your work and you can get feedback if you want it. And there's like inspiring quotes every morning that have to do with mothering and artistry. And there's also methods for the mother writer, that are like these specific things that I've like little hacks for how to leverage the time we have and don't have as moms to actually do the creative work that yields the energy and the meaning, how we can make it easier for ourselves. Am I missing any of the other materials that
I think that's it. I
I
think,
think that
yeah,
might be it? So you
yeah.
get all of that Monday and throughout the week, and then Friday there's an hour-long community call. So it's really like self-paced each week, or you can kind of let it flow in and out of the weeks. But then there is this live component for 1 hour on Fridays, where this is what I'll give a little taster of right now. And I always say that this live moment is about connection with self, and then connection with each other, and then connection with our work. So we always cycle through the same practices, but we're kind of working with different themes based on the materials of the week and just where we're at. So the first thing we do is we write. We actually spend time, real time writing together, which is sometimes that's the hardest thing, is like actually just doing it. And then once we start, it takes on a life of its own and it starts to flow. But I find that like having accountability of like showing up and doing it together makes a big, big difference, to see that, oh yes, I can sit down and write. And when I do, it feels really good. And so we can start to get that pathway like flowing. So let's do that right now. And if you're watching or listening and you have paper and pen available or something to type on, or even sometimes I recommend like grabbing your handheld device and you can speak into the voice memo device. So however you want to record yourself, if there's no way to do so, you can sit and just contemplate internally. But I think it's best to actually try to write or speak. And let's just do, what do you think, 2 minutes, Miriam? Yeah, and we're gonna do this also. So we're gonna participate, and hopefully that's supportive. And the prompt that I wanna offer you is, what in your mothering doesn't get seen? What in your mothering occurs without witnessing? What work are you doing? What play are you doing that's unseen in your mothering? You can just describe what happens, or you can describe the subjective experience, how, like the emotions, the sensations. And then wherever it leads you, you can just begin to write and see where it goes. So what in your mothering is unseen for 2 minutes? Okay, that's 2 minutes. I feel like I could, this topic, I could keep going a lot longer. Yeah, so I mean, gosh, it's not edited or censored. In the community call, what we would then do is go into breakout rooms, and with just a couple other participants, we'd share another prompt that would be linked to the writing, but some way to metabolize and share what's most alive about the themes from the week. And then we come into the big group, and there's the opportunity to share about the writing. So either literally read something that's been written throughout the week or just now in the prompt, or about the process. Like sometimes if folks have questions or want to reflect on how things are going, that's a space to ask or share and be witnessed. So we move from first person to second person to talking about like the actual activity of mothering and writing. So should we read ours, Miriam? Because we also, sometimes what's really cool is people will share what they just wrote right then, and it's really raw, and that's okay. It does not have to be polished or like good.
Sure, I'd be happy to. And I will say that, sometimes as much as I've participated in the offering while doing the program management part of it, those live calls when we're prompted to write have been the only time I've written that week.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've, in some ways, they're some of my favorite moments too, because I find a lot of what holds us back is it's not the right time, it's not the right moment, I don't feel quite inspired. And when it's just like, go, just write, it would like unplug something, and then I'd actually write, and then later I'd go back and work on it. But it was a beautiful, it was a beautiful moment of just get over yourself and just write.
Yeah.
So I've always loved that, and also absolutely loved hearing the writings of other mums and the community feeling. I mean, even just the screen that we get with all the mums there, and one mum's nursing while she's attending, and the other one's cooking on the side, and the other one's actually lying down because this might be the one time she can be horizontal during the day.
Or they're at the park with the toddler. Totally.
It feels very real, very human, and absolutely connecting. So
yeah, it's really beautiful.
So the prompt, what in your mothering doesn't get seen? The degree of cracked openness surprises even me over and over again. To love that much, to care so fully, to worry and fret and panic about the world I introduce my daughter to. Oh, I wish it were a saner one. And then the thread that keeps me mothering, self, held and holding, is prayer. Silent, whispered in the middle of the night, here and there sprinkled throughout the day, planting angels left, right, above, below, in front, behind her, co-creating fields of protection as my darling, now 17, walks, rides, snowboards, dances, mountain bikes, and in a few weeks drives off into her world.
Thank you. Mine's a glimpse of younger motherhood. So what's unseen in my motherhood? I'm pausing my interests and my momentum to set up Orion with a learning station since we aren't sending him to school. Puzzles, paper, pens, books, snacks. I'm sitting down with London to facilitate his online lessons. I don't want to. I want to read my book, study, write, answer emails, take a shower, go for a walk, stretch my body, kiss my husband. I take a deep breath and remember, this is how London will remember learning. I am the one who has the power to influence his first experiences of learning. That's as far as I got. Yeah.
So I hope, I mean, it gives me a taste. It just gets me so excited about starting again. And
Yeah.
I hope it gives those of you who are joining us a taste also. If you do want to send us your writings, if you partook in this little exercise, do. I know I can speak for, I think, both of us that we'd love to read them.
Mhm.
And I wanted to mention something too, is it's been incredible to witness mothers continuing to write together
Mhm.
after a course is finished. So there's really some smaller caravans that have kept going from these 6-week experiences that, from what I hear, are really relevant and deeply meaningful for the mums as they continue
Mhm.
to find each other in this writing practice. So thank you, Brooke. I can't wait to be under your guidance again and to get myself writing and to be present with other mums. And as we said at the beginning, mothering ones.
Yeah.
We've had, I think it was in the last course, we had a mother and then we had her mother
Mhm.
participate.
Mhm.
So if you feel called to, if you have any questions, you can find a link at the website where you can send us questions and we'll be happy to answer. And then really excited to welcome you all very soon.
Yeah, I'm
Did you
excited.
wanna did you want to share anything to close, Brooke?
Um, I'm just so excited. I've met such incredible women from all over the world who, and yeah, like you said, who have become really close because this practice it just generates intimacy and connection, and I've been blown away. I knew that I wanted to do this and that I wanted to do it with you, and both times I've been completely blown away by the actual lived experience of it. I feel like I just sit back and receive so much beauty, so I'm ready for that. I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we will see each other and we'll see whoever comes on this new adventure
Yeah.
starting, I think it's in a week and a little bit. So
Yeah.
if you're
From
listening to the recording, it might like be really, really soon.
yeah. Yeah. We hope to see you.
Until then, okay, bye bye.